Today I'm super excited to share with you 21 items that have sold for over $30 in the last couple of months. If you're new here, my name is Eileen and I'm a part-time reseller on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and most recently Whatnot. But we are just going to focus on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari for this video. And I've been anywhere from part-time to full-time, and right now I'm just doing this as a side hustle because I honestly just really love reselling and I love talking about it. So these $30 sales are from the last couple of months. I have a store of less than 100 items, so that's why I don't have a ton of these sales, but I did want to share these $30 and up sales with you because it's easy to find those items that you can sell for maybe like $10 or $15. But for me, I try to aim for $30 sales because that brings me a decent amount of profit and it really makes it worth it with all the work that we put into reselling. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and we are going to take a look at the items that have sold for $30 and up. All right, now we are in my Vendue account and I'm going to just show you all of my sales that were $30 and more, starting from the lowest. So this first item is a pair of Mahabis slippers. You can see the title down here. This is not a very long or good title. I didn't do a very good job there, but they did sell. So these are like slippers that I think they're made of wool, and you can kind of take the soles off if you look at this picture. So they can be indoor or outdoor slippers, I guess. I thought they were pretty cool. And so I sold these on Poshmark back in March for $30 even. I originally listed them for $30 and I sold them for $30, so they did sell for full asking and they took 19 days to sell. My cost of goods was $4.99 and after fees, my profit on these was $19.01. Next up is a pair of Nike Golf Storm Fit pants, and the pictures on this are terrible. I just could not get good lighting and I needed to take pictures, so I was like, I'm just gonna risk it. Let's just see if it'll work. These have a pretty good sell-through rate, and this was a good size, I believe an extra large. So I figured I would just see if it worked, and it did work. So we sold these on eBay. I had them listed for $29.99. They sold for $33.26. One thing to note about eBay, because I don't do free shipping and I collect shipping on eBay, the price you'll see here is the total price they paid me, including shipping. So these prices are a little bit inflated. So I believe these sold on sale for like a little bit less than $29.99. And so my total that I collected was $33.26 and I paid $1 for these. I just put $1 for all Goodwill bins items. If you don't know what the Goodwill bins is, it's the Goodwill outlet and you buy items by the pound. So I don't want to calculate every single item. So my general cost across all of my items that I buy from the bins is about 75 cents to $1. So I just round it and say $1 on items. So we'll say my cost of goods was $1. After fees and shipping, I made $18.71 and these took 11 days to sell. All right, next up is something that I actually had from my own. It was just like a personal item. It was something that I actually gifted to my mom and then she never used it and gave it back to me. And they are these tile, like kind of like tracker locators. You can like put them on in your purse or on your keys or something, and so that when you lose them, you can find them. And I thought about keeping them because I am very forgetful, but I decided to sell them instead. These sold on eBay on May 2nd. The price that I collected was $34.74. I had them listed for $29.99. They did sell for $29.99. And then I collected $4.75 for shipping. It only took 3 days for this to sell. My cost of goods was $0 because it was a personal item. So my profit on this was $22.90 after shipping and everything. I'm going to pause right here and introduce today's sponsor, Vendue. If you have been watching this video, you see that I'm kind of in my Vendue account right now, showing you all of my sales. If you are a reseller and you're looking into getting onto other platforms so that you can get your items in front of more people and make more sales, as you can see, I have a mix of eBay and Poshmark sales, and I think there's like one Mercari sale in here. And without Vendue, I wouldn't be able to sell as much as I do because I wouldn't be able to have the time to cross-post across all of these marketplaces on my own. And Vendue is really more than just a cross-posting tool. One of my favorite features is that when an item sells on one of the platforms that I'm selling on, it will automatically take it down from the other two platforms so that I don't accidentally sell it twice, which used to happen more than I'd like to admit. So Vendue really is one of my favorite reselling tools. I'm in it every single day and I really highly recommend it if you are a reseller and you are serious about making a consistent income reselling. So if you want to check out Vendue, you can use the link below for a discount. Next, we have a new to me brand. I have just started hearing about this recently and I found this and I felt it and it felt like an interesting fabric and I realized it was merino wool. So I looked it up and it has a pretty good sell-through rate and a pretty good sell price. So this is Icebreakers 260. I don't honestly know what that number means, but it was just like this turtleneck black sweater in merino wool. I had it listed for $34.99. My total price that I collected was $34.87, so it must have sold on sale for probably around $28 or so, or maybe on offer. This item took 16 days to sell, and this sold on April 19th. I got this at the bin, so $1 was my cost of goods, and then after shipping and everything, my profit was $23.01. All right, next was a Poshmark sale. This was something that I found at the bins as well. They have this like shelf where they put like liquid items, like usually it's like paint and stuff like that. I don't even know, like yard liquids, like pest control, I don't know, weed killer, stuff, like weird stuff, just stuff that they don't want in the bins, obviously. And I try to look up anything that's like a consumable product that I don't recognize, or even if I do recognize it, I look it up because these are items that people use up, and if they can't find them, they go to eBay or Poshmark to find them. So this was a Poshmark sale. It is the Swedish Beauty Wild Waters Intensifier Tanning Lotion. So it was just this like big bottle of tanning lotion. At first I thought it was just lotion or shampoo, but apparently it's tanning lotion. And I sold this on Poshmark. I had it listed for $39.99, so $40 because Poshmark rounds up. So $40, I took an offer, or I sent an offer for $35. This only took 2 days to sell. I paid $1 for it, and my profit on this was $27. All right, next up is an eBay sale, and this is something that I've had for months, and I even had it before we moved, and I just never got around to listing it because it had this like ruching on the side, and I felt like I couldn't take a good picture of it. I probably should have brightened up this photo a bit, but hey, it sold anyway. So I sold this on eBay. I had it listed for $34.99 and I collected $39.74, so I sold it for full price plus shipping, which I usually charge either $4.75 or $5.99 for shipping, and then I'll cover the rest unless it's like a really heavy item, then I do calculate it. So after fees and cost of goods, which was $4.99 at the regular Goodwill, which I am shocked that this was not marked up, and shipping expenses, my profit on this was $21.53. All right, next up is one of 3 dresses. I showed these in one of my like thrift with me at the Goodwill outlet videos, and these were like such a good find. They sold so fast, and I was so happy with the profit on these. This first one I sold on Mercari. I think this might be my only Mercari sale. I don't sell a ton on Mercari, but it takes me like seconds to list on Mercari, and now that they don't have seller fees, it's worth it to just go ahead and cross-post my items to Mercari because I have an account and I might as well, right? So I listed this for $49.99 on Mercari, and it sold 2 days later for a $40 offer. My cost of goods at the bins was $1, and then there were no fees, and I did not pay shipping. They paid shipping, so my profit on this was $39. So I was super happy with this. I guess I should have told you what it was. It's these Disney Her Universe dresses. This is the Rapunzel or Tangled dress, and these are in plus sizes. So super cute, like Disney themed dresses, so pretty. And then I have a couple more for you to look at in the next few items here. Next was an eBay sale, and I actually showed these in one of my Thrift With Me videos too. This is from the regular Goodwill. So these are Tupperware fridge smart containers, and I had to buy them all individually. The cost of goods on these was $11.07 because I paid for all 3 individually. I had them on eBay for $34.99. I collected a total of $43.51. I think I took like a $25 or $28 offer on these, and then they paid for shipping because this was like kind of a heavier item with a box and all the packing and all of that. But my profit on this was $13.40. So not a huge amount of profit, but I find hard goods really easy to take pictures of, and you don't have to do measurements, and I love it. So not too bad. Oh, and these sold in 8 days. All right, next up is a pair of Zero shoes. I have a couple of these in this list. This is from a palette I bought like 2 or 3 years ago, and I just have a couple of pairs left, either pairs that we planned on using ourselves or that just were kind of in storage and never got sold. So this is a pair of kids shoes, and if you don't know Zero shoes, they're like kind of a minimalist barefoot brand. They have like a wider toe box and like a zero drop, so they're a specific kind of shoe that has a really big following, and it's really funny. Oh look, I did put the keywords in this. I know in one of them I didn't put the keywords barefoot or minimalist, which is crazy because I know those keywords are important. But these did sell on eBay for $44.75. I believe they sold for $40, and then I charged $4.75 for shipping. The cost of goods on all of these was $17.50 because that's how much the cost of goods was like 2 years ago. So even though we were going to use these, I decided to just put those in because they originally were for selling. So I did make a $15.01 profit on these. All right, next up is a lot of these like fireproof pants. Fire pants work right. Normex fire pants. There was a bin with like 20 pairs of these, and I took a risk and bought a handful of them because they were pretty heavy and I didn't want to get stuck with them, but they looked like they would sell pretty well, and I was right. So I ended up lotting them by size. They did have little flaws, like these little stains and stuff, but I listed them anyway. So this first set of 2 sold on eBay. I had them listed for $39.99 plus shipping. So they paid a total of $45.98. And then after shipping, or after fees, cost of goods, which like I said, from the bins, everything's $1. So there were 2 of them. So my cost of goods was $2. After everything, I made a $30.36 profit on this lot. Next is another item that I did show in kind of like a yard sale with me video. It was this pair of Birkenstocks, and it was this yard sale where they had so much new stuff from like Walmart and like just like lower end brands that were not very valuable, and they were asking several dollars for each of those items, but they asked $1 for this pair of Birkenstocks. So I was so excited when I saw that. And these sold on Poshmark. I had them listed for $69.99, so $70 on Poshmark since Poshmark rounds up. And so I ended up taking a $50 offer on them. They sold in 16 days. I paid $1, like I said, so my profit on these was $39. All right, next is another pair of those Zero shoes. This is the one where I forgot to put minimalist or barefoot in the listing. Those are huge keywords, so if you find Zero shoes, use those keywords. This was a pair that I was going to keep for myself, but I ended up not doing that. I just never ended up wearing them, so I sold these ones, or this pair, on eBay. I had them listed for $49.99. They sold with shipping for $51.33, so after everything I made a $19.74 profit. We do have one more pair of Zeros here. These sold on Poshmark, so these also were new without tags, and I sold these on Poshmark. I had them up for $60. I took an offer for $54. They took 63 days to sell, so they did take a little bit longer to sell, but I did make a $23.68 profit. All right, we have another lot of those fire pants. This is a set of 3. Like I said, I just lotted them by size. And I figured that was the easiest way to sell them so I can move them quickly. I love lotting things up and just getting like one higher price sale rather than parting things out and having to do multiple listings. And then the buyer gets a good deal. I don't have to work as hard, and it's all around just so much better. So these sold on eBay. These were listed for $59.99. This person paid $55.78 after shipping and the price. So I probably accepted like a $40-something offer. And after everything, I made a $30.21 profit. And there was actually a second lot that sold for like the exact same price almost. So the next set was also listed for $59.99 on eBay, sold for $55.78. And I made a $32 profit on that one. I wonder what the profit difference is. Let me look at this. So one set took 22 days to sell and one set took 15 days to sell. And the difference is the difference in shipping, really. So that's why there's like even though they sold for the same amount, the shipping was a little bit different. Next up is these 2 body lotions. I picked these up at TJ Maxx. No, at Home Goods. And these sold on eBay. I had them listed for quite a while. This was like a long sale. So they were listed for $49.99, and someone eventually paid full price for them plus shipping. And I paid $5 each on clearance at Home Goods. But they did take 156 days to sell, by far the longest out of any of these other items. But I did make a $26.80 profit. All right, next up we have another Disney dress. This one is the Cinderella dress. Like I said, I found 3 of these at the bins, and they all sold pretty quickly for a good profit. This one sold on eBay. I had it up for $49.99. It ended up selling for full price plus $5.99 shipping. It took 31 days to sell. I paid $1, and after everything, I made a $36.63 profit. Here's another one I sold on eBay. This is the last one I sold on eBay. Another Her Universe dress. This was Sleeping Beauty Aurora, and again, I paid $1 for it at the bins. Had it listed for $49.99 plus $5.99 shipping. So after fees and cost of good and shipping expense, I got $36.63 in profit. And on here it says it took 0 days to sell. I don't remember this selling same day, but you know what? It might have. All right, this one is kind of funny because this is a Reformation dress. Gorgeous Reformation dress. I don't usually use stock photos. I don't usually tell people to use stock photos, but I just could not get this to look cute on the hanger. So sometimes I will occasionally use stock photos, literally like maybe 5 times a year. But this is a Reformation dress. It's a really expensive brand. It had a $257 retail tag on it still. You can see that right here. Oh, the actual price wasn't on here. I looked it up, but it had like the style name and it had the Reformation tag on it. So I looked up the dress and found out it was at $257 retail. But the problem is the zipper was stuck and I didn't want to go get it fixed. And I actually tried to sell this a couple of times on Whatnot for $4 and no one wanted it. but I'm glad no one wanted it because I sold it on Poshmark for $90, or I had it listed on Poshmark for $90. It ended up selling for $81, so I made a $61.78 profit on this. So I'm so glad no one wanted it because I ended up making a really good profit on this. And then our top sale is something that I don't even get to keep because I was selling this for my sister, but I don't mind. And I still want to show it to you because if you find this out while you're sourcing, you should pick it up. So this was sold on Poshmark, and it is a black milk Harry Potter skater dress. So I had it listed on Poshmark for $149.99. When I originally told her was I could probably get like 50 bucks for it, and she was like, that seems low, and I'm like, well, I'll see what I can do. So I listed it high at 150 just to see what would happen. I don't have any money into this, and my sister is good with waiting. She doesn't care. So I wanted to see how much I could get for it. So this was listed for 74 days before it ended up selling for $100. After fees, the profit is $80, although I don't get to keep that. I'm giving it to my sister. But this is a great thing to look out for. These black milk collabs can do really well. So definitely look out for that. Most Harry Potter stuff I will pass up on because it's just so like mass produced and no one wants it. But black milk, definitely look that up. All right, so those are my $30 and up sales for the last couple of months. Hopefully this gave you some ideas on what to look out for when you are sourcing at the thrift stores too. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really tells YouTube that you liked it. Let me know if there are any items that you learned about in the comments or anything you were surprised by. And thank you again to today's sponsor, Vendue. If you are interested in trying out Vendue for yourself, go ahead and click the link in the description below. I've been using Vendue for years now and I highly recommend it. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.